Greetings and Chag Sameach, my fellow YouTubers. This is a shot of whiskey, and I hope my Hebrew came off better than I imagined it did. Today's video, which I would like to say, I'm sorry that it took this long to make a video. Just about all of last week, I've been feeling kind of under the weather. So, not only have I not been producing something to bring out sooner, but I've actually been working on a series of videos that I was kind of hoping to have the first one come out sometime this week. I still might be able to, but it's been kind of delayed as of late because of me not feeling too great. But nonetheless, I have something for you guys. This is 2 articles, and by calling them articles, I'm kind of stretching the truth. They're opinion pieces. But they both relate to Amy Coney Barrett. Wait, yeah, Coney Barrett. For some reason, I keep thinking that it's supposed to be Comey, but it's not. It's Coney, like an ice cream coney. Can't believe I just told a little joke. Oh, I feel bad. Anyways, the first one is from Politico, which, as I understand it, pretends to be politically neutral, but is really more left-leaning. But they're not so left-leaning that they're comparable to the Young Turks. Anyways, the second one, I'm not going to say where that one comes from yet. But the second one is, I guess you could call it a response to the political piece. So, the political one, written by Erica Bachiochi, I don't know, it's spelled Bachioci. There we go. Almost skipped a letter and replaced another one with something else. Anyways, it's titled Amy Coney Barrett, a new feminist. I'm sorry, that's kind of hard to say with a straight face. A new feminist icon. There we go. Feminism is changing, which I guess is a fair point to make. I mean, especially add to it that there's so many different faces to feminism. And Barrett's replacement of Ruth Bader Ginsburg will show how. Okay, this is going to be kind of an interesting concept, because from what little of Barrett I know, I would not call her a feminist, but it's possible that she sees herself as a feminist, or some feminists see her as feministy-ish, which this person is one of those. And the main point that she's trying to get at, I think she's actually got a good point. I'm going to try to keep some of my cynicism out of this. She says some things that I vehemently disagree with when it comes to men. But I'm going to try to fight my instinct to say how she's wrong. And we'll just go ahead and go and read. Oh, by the way, I'm only going to read about the first half of this one. It's a pretty lengthy piece. But I'll provide a link in the description down below for this one, as well as the second article, when I get home, which should be in about 45 minutes or so from where I'm at right now. Anyways, Amy Coney Barrett has been praised for her top-flight legal mind, even by those who disagree with her. At age 48, she is poised to help shape the court for a generation or more. Hell, with her only being 48 right now, you could even say 3 generations. But that's not all her elevation to the High Court has the potential to accomplish. Barrett's expected confirmation should serve as a catalyst for rethinking the most powerful social movement in the past half-century, feminism. Alright, over the past week, as RBG's body laid in repose outside the Supreme Court, that sounds a little morbid, but I get what she's saying. The nation has rightly celebrated the justice's trailblazing 1970s legal advocacy, one which pushed both law and culture to re-examine the ways in which women had been pigeonholed as caregivers and men as providers. The late Justice's anti-discrimination wins opened up a new era in which both men and women could respectably and responsibly engage in both avenues of fulfillment, according to their personal talents and circumstances. But Ginsburg also viewed abortion rights as central to sexual equality, and her leadership helped give rise to a movement that remains laser-focused on abortion to this day. Yet, rather than make women more equal to men, constitutionalizing the right to abortion, as the court did in Roe, has relieved men of the mutual responsibilities that accompany sex, and so has upended the duties of care for dependent children that fathers ought equally to Okay. No. Let's see here. I'm just going to go ahead and skip over that entire paragraph because it's basically repeating the same thing. At Barrett's Senate confirmation hearing in 2017, Senator Dianne Feinstein tellingly remarked, by the way, I think Feinstein's a stupid bitch. You are controversial because many of us that have lived lives as women, as if though this woman hasn't, really recognize the value of finally being able to control our reproductive systems, and Roe entered into that, obviously. Barrett's life story puzzles older feminists like Feinstein, and I think that's a very good word, puzzles. Because bearing and raising a bevy of children has long implied retaining a traditional life script, like staying home with the children, that Barrett has obviously not heeded. Yeah, that's something that a lot of the hardcore butchy feminists, especially the ones from the 70s and 80s eras, don't seem to understand. It is possible, in a way, for women to be able to have jobs that are fulfilling and be able to be mothers who actually give a flying fuck about their children, something that a lot of these feminists don't do, hence why they have no problem with killing them. But as you'll see, this writer actually gets that. To be sure, few mothers of seven, in case you didn't catch that, could become federal judges, never mind Supreme Court justices. Barrett, generationally brilliant, according to her Notre Dame colleague, O. Carter Snead, is likely alone in this set. It all seems so unlikely. She has risen to the pinnacle of her profession, while at once being radically hospitable to children, as Snead has described her. An enigma to many, she doesn't easily fit into any ideological box. So really, that alone kind of makes you think, if we're to be truly objective about feminism, what it is, what it's meant over the decades, I was about to say centuries, but it's not quite that old yet. I think this person's kind of off to a pretty decent logical start. I want to get to somewhere where there's light. It's kind of the problem about doing this kind of stuff in an area where there's trees. If we're really intent as a country on seeing women flourish in their professions and serve in greater numbers of leadership positions too, it would be worthwhile to interrupt the abortion rights sloganeering, it's another good term for what's going on right now, for a beat and ask just how this mother of many has achieved so much. Yeah, what's wrong with trying to ask? What's wrong with trying to figure out? What's wrong with trying to study rather than doing what this next opinion piece is going to do? In a 2019 conversation at the Notre Dame Club of Washington, Barrett was asked how, while raising so many children, 2 of whom were adopted from Haiti and 1 who has special needs, she has been able to balance family life with her demanding profession. Her response was as telling as Feinstein's 2017 remark. Barrett immediately, this is something that a lot of feminists say, praises her husband, who is also an attorney. We were open to either one of us staying home at different points. What's really made it work is that it's very much a team effort. Right now, Jesse is really doing much more of the heavy lifting, the cooking and cleaning. Slight mistake on my part. The cooking and kids' doctor's appointments during the day. We've gone in cycles, and right now he's doing a little bit more of the home stuff. We evaluated at every step whether things were working well for the family, for the job I was in. But it was always working, and it worked well. The kids were very happy. I loved teaching. Now, I'm not really sure exactly why I loved teaching was thrown in there. To me, it would sound like it'd be better to get rid of those 3 words or to add more to it afterwards, but you know, whatever. So, I'm going to go ahead and read the last paragraph, or the next paragraph, and just end it there, and then go on to the next article. Barrett says that for both parents, the needs of the Barrett children came first, their professions second, and yet both their children and professions thrived. Rather than assume caregiving is a woman's choice to embrace or reject on her own, as Roe does, the Barretts recognize that both mothers and fathers are encumbered by their shared responsibilities to the dependent children in their care. That's the new feminism building up while remaking the old feminism. So the rest of the piece is pretty much along these lines. And like I said, I will provide a link in the description down below. The other one was written a couple of days later. Posted September 29th on the Mary Sue, which if you guys haven't heard, let me fix my glasses real quick. The Mary Sue is a leftist shithole of a website that's really no different than Feminist Frequency, except it's more about bitching about feministic issues and not just focusing on video games and media. And they post more frequently, at least from what I've seen. Feminist Frequency barely posted anything, but maybe it's because they're losing a lot of followers. I don't know. Don't really care. Here's the title. Amy Coney Barrett is not a feminist. Written by Rachel Leishman. Before I actually read this, I want to point out something to Rachel. No one said that she is. I have said that she might be. I don't know. This first one said that she could be an icon for feminism. And if you actually pay attention to the details that this individual argues, rather than the things that you imagine in your head, and probably heard other feminazi bitches squawking about because you're stupid, maybe you'd catch on to something. Anyways, let's hear what this imbecile has to say. Amy Coney Barrett is not a feminist. Let's get that right out of the effing way. An opinion piece published by Politico, blah, 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 blah. Apparently Erica has written for the National Review, which is right-wing. Ooh, because that's so horrible. So horrible. Argued that she's ushering in a new wave of feminism. I guess that new wave is taking away women's rights, which, as far as I know, Amy has never said that she would, and it's fucking retarded that she thinks this. Some kind of feminism there. The article asserts that Justice RBG, her stance on abortion and a woman's right to choose, and likewise Roe versus Wade, and that of established precedent, is not bringing sexual equality, but rather letting men walk away from responsibility. Now, I will admit that is a little weird. And to that I say, what the actual fuck? Anyways, so yeah, it is a little weird. However, this gal is misunderstanding every other aspect involved. Now, with me, the part about taking away responsibility as far as men, if you're just looking at abortion, it might come off that way to the stupid and intellectually inept. But as far as the entire picture when it comes to parenting, men definitely have the short end of the stick, which we always have, but in this case, it's even shorter. She quotes something from the article, but Ginsburg also viewed abortion rights as a blah, 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 blah. It goes on to effectively argue that abortion rights are to blame for barriers to parenthood, like workplace discrimination against pregnant women and parents, painting the removal of abortion rights, and forcing businesses to adapt to an increase in parents as the solution to those problems. No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. You're really just imagining things, lady. Oh, wait, that's right, you're a feminist rights for the Mary Sue. No wonder you're imagining things. If we're going to talk about not letting people walk away from responsibility, let's start with holding the people actually doing the discriminating accountable. Who? Rather than forcing everyone to carry pregnancies they may not want to term in some weird roundabout scheme to convince society to be nicer to parents through sheer numbers. Who chose to get pregnant? That was all on the woman. A lot of times these women will trick men into getting them pregnant. That's just a fact. Oh wait, you're a feminist, you don't like facts. I'll be completely honest. Part of me is terrified of what a confirmation of Amy Coney Barrett holds for my future. Not just in regards to my reproductive rights, but for my rights as a woman in this country. What a dumb cunt. Now, I don't remember the name of this term, but it's a Latin term that's used in the in the legal profession that basically means sticking with tradition or keeping things as they are or whatnot. Basically, from what I have read, Amy Coney Barrett is, as far as legally applying the law, looks to how things were previously written. She's not a law maker. She is a law enforcer, which is the way that judges should be. Judges enforce the law, just like cops, in theory. The law changers are the politicians. Anyways, where was I at? And why would she think that Amy Coney Barrett wants to take away a woman's rights? I just found a quarter. Other than the fact that she is a religious woman, and that religion is Christianity, and she has more than one child. Oh no, the sheer horror. For whatever reason, these types of women think that our worth is completely dependent on a man and his responsibilities. No, it isn't. She doesn't think that. Which is not feminism. That part I agree with. That's feeding into the current social status and how men do still hold the power. What current social status are you talking about, you delusional lying cunt? The argument being told to us through Amy Coney Barrett is that she's a feminist because she has it all, meaning she has children and a job. That's not exactly accurate. They're saying that she's a potential model for women to look at if they want to follow this particular feminist mantra of women having it all. Because most women who do it, or at least try it, fail horrendously. They do. They fail at it because it's a very difficult thing to do. Most guys like me who don't succumb to feminism will point that out and be like, hey, you can't. It's tough to do. I would say it's almost impossible to do. And apparently, Barrett is doing a good job of serving as an example of how it can be done. That's where I think the Politico writer has a point. But no, the Mary Sue writer just wants to be like, I hate Republicans, I hate Trump. Guarantee you, if the exact same woman was being appointed by Obama or Hillary, they wouldn't be squawking like this. Even if they knew all the information that they think they know, they probably would not be squawking like this. But then again, they're feminists. They're not exactly bright. Well, great for her, but feminism isn't about whether or not I can have a kid and a husband and a job. True. It's about my right to choose to have those things if I want them, not because the law has forced them on me. Which no one is saying that. Just like how a man can have those same choices. But yet, men can have those choices forced upon them too. Oh wait, she's a feminist, she doesn't fucking care. So Barrett is far from a feminist. I don't know what you'd call her, a 1950s Leave It to Beaverish? Ha, funny. The entire idea is just that she's a woman who managed to have a family and a career. And it works. And that it's not only the ideal to do so, but that our laws should be based on pushing people towards it. No, it doesn't say that. Bakioki has argued as much in a piece expressing similar ideas, sometimes nearly word for word, for America, the Jesuit Review of Faith and Culture. Well, I don't really feel like fucking reading that, and I don't really care. Well, good for you if that's what makes you happy, but that's not what everyone wants. And that's not what the political piece was saying. Her archaic ideas about women and their place in the family dynamic is extremely harmful. No, it's not. In fact, if anything, it's the opposite of harmful. Not just because she's going to most definitely reverse Roe versus Wade. No, she's not. But because she's taking away rights from women and thinking that it somehow benefits us. Based on what? Where are you imagining these things? I would really love to know where wackadoos like her actually get this crap. And frankly, the idea that taking away a woman's right to choose will put the responsibility on the man is ridiculous. Yeah, not really. To hold a man accountable, I have to go through 9 months of being pregnant. Whoop-de-doo, we had to go through 18 years of paying or risk going to jail. And raise a child to make sure he realizes that he has a say in this situation. How does that even make sense as something you could consider a feminist ideal? Okay, I'm going to read that part again because I don't think I understood it. To hold a man accountable, I have to go through 9 months of being pregnant and raise a child to make sure he realizes that he had a say in this situation? How does that even make sense as something you can consider a feminist ideal? Well, here's the thing, you stupid lazy bitch. Let's say you decide to keep the child even though I shot a load of jizz up your ass because I don't want a child. I told you I didn't want to have a child. You agreed you didn't want to have a child. And all of a sudden you decide, you know what, I'm going to take a turkey baster, shove it up my butt, suck up some of this whiskey jizz, and put it up my pooter. I had no say in that. And women do this kind of shit too. They'll puncture holes in condoms. They'll lie about being on birth control. Now, yeah, sometimes they'll actually be on birth control, but something wrong will happen. It does happen. But the thing is, your responsibilities, yeah, you go through 9 months of pregnancy. I go through 18 years of paying for a child that may not even be mine. There's a lot of laws on the books where even if it was proven not to be mine or any other guy that you falsely accuse, we're still on the hook. We're fucked. Now, I will agree that the idea of abortion being approved somehow is benefiting the men more than the women. I don't entirely agree with that. I think I'm on page with you, but not for the reasons that you think. We're going to encounter a lot of this. See, women can have it all if we just conform mentality in regards to Barrett without recognition that not all women want a family. No one is saying that you have to conform to it, you stupid lying cunt. The fuck is wrong with these people? They're just saying if you want it, here's a potential model, an example, a potential guide for an option for this if it's what you want. God, feminists are so fucking retarded. Look, I'd love to get married to a hot man who is tall with dark hair. Maybe he's British, but he can sing. What, like British people can't sing? And loves to take care of the kids with me. That's my dream. But that isn't what every woman wants. And no one is saying that's the case. God, these women are stupid. So no one's forcing you. So enforcing every woman into this mentality of yes, you can have kids and a job isn't feminism. And no one is saying that it is. God. It's still believing that a woman's job is to have children and she can have a career as a little treat. No, it's not. Try reading, you dumb cunt. So if you think Amy Coney Barrett isn't a threat to women and is a feminist, please take a look at yourself and what you think feminism is, because I'll tell you, it's not erasing a woman's right to choose in the hopes that it will convince men to take equal responsibility for caregiving. It's not a threat to women. Might be a threat to feminism, which I am fine with, because fuck feminism, it's retarded, evil shit. But it's not a threat to women. And in some ways, not a threat to feminism, depending on how it goes, especially when you look at the Politico article in a not feminazi viewpoint lens. It's ridiculous that she actually thinks this. But then again, she's a feminist who writes for the Mary Sue. She's not bright by default. And that particular opinion piece proves it. Whew. I feel a little winded. It's because I haven't drinking anything in a couple of hours. But anyways, oh, maybe that's it. This is a 26-minute video so far. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. Thank God. Or whatever you may or may not worship. But I'm going to go ahead and put this video to an end. I'm going to try to work some more on this video series that I'm working on. And there is another one of these types of videos that I want to do here in the near future. So I might do that later on in the week, just to give you guys something to tide over. Just to tide you guys over. I'm getting so tired. My words are just like everywhere. Oh, and by the way, for the new subscribers who jumped in, I just saw that my subscription count is now at 159. Thank you. I hope you guys stick around. I'd like to get back into the 160s and start climbing back up. The most I've ever had at any one given point was 165. And that hasn't been for a while. I've been losing subs. So thank you for joining us. And hopefully you won't regret this decision. I'm going to try my best. So anyways, peace out everyone. Go Hawks, because we're probably not going to stay undefeated. Let's be real. And we'll see you guys next time. Later.